Okay, we're doing something very similar to what we did in 1.5. As you can see, there's only two templates for today. We're basically doing the same thing, except there's an and to this and an or. An or is going to have an or in it, like right here. If there is no or, it's automatically an and. So, an and, what you're going to do is you're going to split this up into 2x plus 5 is less than or equal to 15. There's one equation. And then your other equation is going to be 2x plus 5. I always have my variable on the left-hand side. If 3 is less than 2x plus 5, isn't 2x plus 5 really greater than 3? So I have my 2x plus 5. Notice that they both have a 2x plus 5. And then you put a 15 on one and a 3 on the other, but you have to switch the 3 inequality sign because the 2x plus 5 and the 3 got switched places, if you can see that. So you're going to solve for x by subtracting 5. You're going to get 2x is greater than a negative 2. Divide by 2. X is greater than a negative 1. 2x is less than or equal to 10. X is less than or equal to 5. So what does this look like? Here's about 0. Here's about a positive 5. And here's about a negative 1. Notice that there's no line underneath the greater than sign, so I'm going to only use an open circle for a negative 1 and put a closed circle at 5 because there is a line. I need to shade to the right for a negative 1 and to the left for a positive 5. When I go from left to right, I know I need a parenthesis at a negative 1 because it's an open circle, and I'm going all the way to 5, which is a closed circle. Here, the next one. An or is already broken up for you, which is nice. All I have to do is solve for y, so I'm going to subtract 7. A negative 2y is less than a negative 6. Divide both sides by a negative 2. Y is greater than 3. Y is greater than 3. You need to switch the sign because I divided by a negative number. I'm going to bring the negative y over to join the 3y, which makes 4y plus 10 is less than 4. 4y is less than a negative 6. Divide both sides by 4. Y is less than a negative 3/2 or a negative 1.5 if you want. If you look at both of these, here's 0. Here's about where the 3 is. Here's about a negative 1.5. I'm going to put open circles on both of these. They're both open because there is no line underneath the inequality sign. Notice which direction I need to shade the 3. I need to go in that direction, or I need to do the negative 1.5 in that direction. The answer for interval notation is a negative infinity to a negative 1.5 with a parenthesis. Notice that there's a gap, but then it starts picking up again at 3 to infinity. Something else you need to know, ands, usually, like 99% of the time, ands usually come together. And I'll show you up here. This is an and problem, and these arrows are coming together. Ors, 99% of the time, they go away from each other. Look at the one up above. Do they go away from each other? Yes. If an and, there's a 1%, and an or, there's a 1%. If an and goes away from each other, it's a no solution. If an or comes together, it's many solutions, which is a negative infinity to a positive infinity. I think the next one are examples of that. So you can see we're doing an and, so an and should come together. P is less than a negative 3 and divide both sides by negative 4. P is greater than or equal to a positive 2. I have to switch my sign because I divided by a negative number. I make my number line. Here's 0. Here's a positive 2. Here's a negative 3. I need to put an open circle and a negative 3 and shade to the left, and everybody knows why it's open, because there is no line underneath the negative 3. 2 does have a line, so it's closed and goes in this direction. It's supposed to be an and's supposed to come together, and it's going away from each other. So this is a no solution problem. So you have to watch out for these on the worksheet. The last one, I'm going to multiply both sides by 2. I get x is greater than a negative 2. Or I'm going to subtract 5, which gives me a negative x is greater than a negative 4. I have to divide by a negative 1. Since I divided by a negative 1, I have to switch my sign to a less than, positive 4. If I graph this one, here's 0. Here's about the negative 2 marker. Here's a positive 4. They're both open. Everybody knows why they're both open, because there's no line underneath either one of them. This one goes towards it, and this one goes towards it. And or is supposed to go away from each other. It comes together. It's all real solutions. So it's a negative infinity to a positive infinity. So keep that in mind. Go back to the page. Ands usually come together. Ors usually go away from each other. But there's that 1% problem that they might do on the ACT that they might try to trick you. So try to be careful.